Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Final Fantasy VIVX's video, and this one was requested to me by a viewer. So this will be 5. I can only think of 5 honestly because a lot of TMRs nowadays aren't really not that good, or you're probably not using them much anymore. But there are 5 that I have come up with, not really come up with, but things that I use all the time and stuff that you probably guys use all the time and you probably just don't think about it. But these will be 5 TMRs that are still good in the current year of 2021, probably up to 22 and onwards until they make a different one that might be better than the ones that I list here. But there are four out of 5 are 5 stars. There is one Neovision in this list, so if you want to click off right away, that's okay. But 4 of them are at least are 5 stars, so they're very obtainable for you guys. So let us get into it. Number 1. Well, none of these are in order, by this is not a tier list. This is just 5 TMRs that are still good. Hairpin of Purity, quite good. It still has some decent magic, has really good spirit on it actually. 51 spirit is still quite good, and full status immunity. So this is something I use a lot in Arena on the JP version, for example. I have like 3 or 4 of these on the JP version because it's just so good that it's a hat. It's equipable by most units and has pretty good stats on it, so there's not much else to say other than full stats immunity will always be good in some way. Yes, eventually there might be some bosses that do zombie all the time, or have some other effects here, but other than that, I mean, this is a really good TMR. I mean, there's no so let me know after I describe all these, let me know in the comment section if you use any of these TMRs that we're going to be listing here. So let me know if you still use Hairpin of Purity, but it's a staple in my repertoire. So there's one, and let's move on to the second one. Next one is I Love Chocobos. I use this all the time on both versions. 20% HP and MP and full status immunity. Quite good. Anyone can equip this. Anyone can equip it. Even if they can't equip hats like the last one. This one, there's no excuses, you can equip it. So I use this all the time in Arena, for example, or in other kind of situations where I may need status immunity. This goes on pretty much everybody. I just think that full status immunity is always important, as you should take advantage of material slots and use this, because sometimes Hairpin of Purity might not be best in slot, but the other one, this one might be better in slot, and vice versa. Maybe you have better different things and different things. You might need to cap a certain stat and might need to swap it around. So this is quite good. I use this all the time. Remember, guys, I'm only listing things that I use all the time. This is one of the things that I use all the time. This is a TMR, very accessible, UOCable right now if you want to do it. But I would, if you hopefully have a few of her laying around. Maybe you just never thought of it. Like, oh, she's too old. I'm a slightly new player. This is slightly old unit. Why would I bother? No, get this TMR. Get it now. Get multiples. Get multiples of this TMR. Go ahead and get them. Alright, let's move on to the third one. Alright, there is one limited time unit on this list, but this unit in this TMR is currently not available in the gold version or any version, but this TMR is still widely useful because it has killers on it that are not very easily accessible to most units, or anything like equipment or anything. So it has 50% fairy and also 50% undead or reaper killer, or spirit, fairy or spirit or reaper or undead killer. So the best part of it is that it's physical and magical, even though it doesn't have any magic on it. If you're desperate for killers, as I usually am a lot of the time, I'll equip this on a mage, no problem. I've done it before. I've done it before many times. So Photon Core, very, very good. And I got multiples of them. And I don't know if I have quite a few that I can still get here, as you can see. I'm not bragging, by the way. I'm just showing you how useful this TMR is. So if you've been playing for at least a year or longer, you might have a few of her laying around. And yes, it is a her, by the way. I know it doesn't look like it, but yeah, still quite a good TMR. Very unique killers on it that aren't very accessible to many players. So once again, if you're coming back to the game, you're like, oh, what kind of TMRs can I get that I might have laying around? This is one of them. I would definitely recommend that. So that's the third one. Let's move on to number 4. You might have guessed this one because I made a video completely on this TMR here. Yes, it can't be stacked, I think. I don't think you can stack it on global, but still, I would get multiples of this just in case there might be a trial in the future where everybody gets hit, and this would be phenomenally good. I use this on the JB side all the time now in case of and I don't even need to bring a healer anymore, just bring this along and I recover lots of HP per turn. So yes, on the JB side you can equip 2 of these, which I would only equip 2. Only on the global version you can equip 1, but 5,000 HP per turn. If you're using Fiend and Daisy, for example, you can use their heal on top of this, and you're completely fine. There's no threat to you because, like I said, again, guys, I'm only recommending things that I've used personally a long time, and I can promise you, I know it looks a little scary maybe as a new player, or maybe like an intermediate player, and you're taking a lot of damage, or your tank is like really taking a lot of damage. And 5,000 HP might not be much, but with Fiend and Daisy's heal and this, you're all good. You're all good. So I made a video completely on this this TMR. Yes, this is how good this TMR is. I made a dedicated video back in the day, not in the day, like I think it was like a few months ago. I think that this TMR is groundbreaking, and almost no one was looking at it until I brought it up again. So that is number 4. Let's get on to the 5th one. Now, actually, I don't have this unit, so I had to look for him. So yeah, I had to look for this unit in my friends list or just in the search somewhere. So Dark Mage Slacker is pretty good because it gives magic. Yes, it's not as much as Sora, only burst damage as Sora, but it's a Neo Vision unit. It's only his TMR. So if you're able to pull him from an EX ticket, for example, which is not unfeasible, you can get 50% low burst damage and some magic on top of it. So this will be outclassed if Zoma ever comes to global, which his is basically Sora's S-Teamer but for magic instead of attack. So for most people, you probably, if you have Sora and you have his S-Teamer, you're probably going to be equipping Sora's S-Teamer, even though it doesn't give magic. The 75% low burst damage is just too much to ignore. So yeah, if you've pulled Mello and you just ignored him completely because he wasn't your kind of thing, or you just pulled him from an EX ticket or something, you're like, oh, you know, he's okay, but he's not amazing or anything. But go back and look at his TMR; it's pretty good. I mean, since the Squall buff is not coming in global, apparently, Squall's S-Teamer is barely better than this. This gives magic on top of it, so it's quite good. Anyways, that's gonna be wrapping up for the video, guys. Let me know if you agree with any of these, if you think I've forgotten some, but I think that these are the 5 that I would recommend the most. In general, of course, there are some situations where some other TMRs may still be useful in some niche situations, but these ones are widely usable for pretty much any situation, unless you don't need them, of course. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like button on this, click the like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell, and also become a member of the channel. Then you'll be able to recommend more videos. If you become a member of the channel, you'll have a higher recommendation, being able to recommend videos that I should make for you. So, thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!